Okay, let's talk about carbs. I mean, the whole debate is just confusing, right? We're always told to fear them, count them, maybe even cut them out completely. But today, we are going to completely rethink that. We're moving past that simple good versus bad fight.
So I want you to just let that sink in for a second. For years, the whole conversation has been about low carb this, high carb that. But what if that's just the wrong question? What if the real secret isn't about counting at all, but about choosing?
Well, that's exactly the big idea that the World Health Organization is talking about now. They've put out these new guidelines with a message that's actually super simple, but really profound. When it comes to carbs, quality is the new king.
So that leads to the big question, right? What in the world do they mean by carbohydrate quality? It's a phrase you're going to start hearing a lot more, so let's break down exactly what it is.
In a nutshell, quality is all about the whole package. High quality carbs, they come packed with fiber and nutrients. Think of them like slow burn fuel for your body. They release energy nice and steady, keeping you full and focused, and you get to avoid those wild sugar spikes and the energy crashes that follow.
And wow, the difference is huge. On one side, you've got the powerhouses, things like whole grains, colorful fruits, vegetables, hearty pulses. And on the other side, you've got the quick hits, refined sugars, fruit juices with all the fiber stripped out, and those ultra-processed foods that give you a super fast spike, followed by a really hard crash. The goal's pretty clear. We want to live in that first column as much as we possibly can.
Okay, so we get the idea, but let's get into the nitty-gritty. What are the official actionable things the World Health Organization is recommending? Let's take a look at the new rules of the road.
All right, rule number one. This one's the foundation for everything else. The WHO is saying that most of our carbs should be coming from these four fantastic groups. We're talking whole grains like oats and brown rice, every color of vegetable and fruit you can find, and pulses like lentils and chickpeas. This is your base for a healthy, high-quality diet.
Now let's talk numbers. For adults, the big target is at least 400 grams of fruits and vegetables every single day. That works out to about 5 portions. And listen, this isn't just a casual suggestion, it's a strong recommendation, and it's backed by tons of research on preventing disease.
And here's the second key number for adults. You want to aim for a minimum of 25 grams of dietary fiber per day. This is so important. Fiber is what fuels a healthy gut, it helps manage weight, and it's directly connected to some massive health benefits, which we're actually going to get to in just a minute. But what about the kids? Well, of course, their needs are a little different. The WHO laid out a really clear step-by-step guide for their fruit and veggie intake as they grow. It kicks off at about 250 grams for the little toddlers and then ramps all the way up to the full adult amount of 400 grams by the time they hit age 10. And, the exact same logic applies to fiber for children. That goal grows right along with them. It starts at 15 grams a day and then eventually hits that adult target of 25 grams as they get into their teens. It's all about setting them up for a lifetime of healthy habits. So we've got the rules, but why? Why are they so critical? What's the actual real-world payoff for focusing on the quality of your carbs? Well, let me tell you, the data here is absolutely staggering.
Just take a second and let this number sink in. The evidence review from the WHO found that getting enough fiber is linked to a 15% lower risk of dying early from any cause. I mean, this isn't some fad diet or a magic pill. This is the real, profound impact of consistently choosing whole, high-quality foods. And it doesn't stop there. That same focus on fiber, it's linked to an incredible 20% drop in the risk of developing heart disease, which is one of the biggest killers in the world. A powerful preventative tool is literally sitting right there on our plates.
And the amazing benefits just keep coming. The WHO's review is crystal clear. Diets that are rich in these high-quality carb sources are strongly linked to a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes and even several types of cancer. The protective shield they offer is both broad and significant.
Okay, this is all fantastic information, but the big question is, how do we actually bring this into our day-to-day lives? So let's shift gears from the why to the how with a simple playbook to make this whole thing a reality.
The best part about this is how simple the changes can be. This is not about some crazy, radical diet overhaul. It's all about making smart, simple swaps. Switch out white rice for brown rice. Instead of a cookie, grab an apple. Add a scoop of lentils to your soup. Every single one of those small swaps is a huge win for your health. I want you to think of your plate like a canvas. The goal is to fill it up with all the vibrant colors and textures of whole foods. The more variety you add from all those fruits and vegetables and pulses, the wider the range of nutrients and fiber you're going to get. Just let nature be your guide. Now, of course, to make room for all the good stuff, that means we have to limit some of the low-quality options. This means being really mindful of sugary drinks and snacks, refined grains like white bread, and ultra-processed foods. And hey, take a close look at fruit juices. A lot of them have just as much sugar as a can of soda, but without any of the good fiber from the whole fruit.
All right, let's bring this all home. What is the final take-home message from this whole new way of thinking about carbohydrates? This right here might be the most freeing piece of news in this whole thing. The WHO basically said you can forget about obsessing over percentages. A healthy diet can get anywhere from 40 to 70% of its energy from carbs. The thing that really matters isn't the final number, it's where those carbs actually came from. And really, this just says it all. It is time to stop being afraid of an entire food group. Carbs are the main fuel for our bodies. The key is just to choose the high-octane, nutrient-packed versions that build our health up instead of breaking it down. So, I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. It doesn't have to be some huge change. Maybe it's just adding a handful of berries to your breakfast, or a side of lentils with dinner, or choosing whole grain bread for your sandwich. What's one small step you can take today to put the power of carb quality to work for you?